to share it with you in a bit.
Okay.
Right. Hello, hello, hello. So, yeah, you got it right?
Yeah.
All right. Heather Darwin says hello.
Hi, Mom.
Hello, hello. Good afternoon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Make sure to share. We vibing out, we vibing out, we vibing out. Yes, yes, yes.
Whenever we have these video things, I always worry about, like, are we both in sync and hearing this at the same time? But I actually think that it is matching up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Not bad, not bad. Just making sure this is on here. So, okay, great. Welcome, everyone. Make sure to share this with someone. Vibe with us, vibe with us. We're going to get the festivities started in a minute. Hi, Jesse. Yeah.
Oh, that's my grandma.
Get this going. Aw.
Hi, Grandma.
Jesse?
Yes.
Jesse or Heather? Oh.
Jesse is my
hello,
grandma. Heather
Okay.
is my mother-in-law.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, welcome. Hello, Mrs. Darwin. Hello, Mrs. Jones. I wish there was a way I could put it on loop. But welcome, welcome, welcome today, guys. We are talking about some things today. We're gonna have fun today. I have my awesome cousin here with me, Dr. Darwin. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining. It's gonna be an awesome time. So make sure you tell your friends. Share it on Facebook, share it on Instagram. Okay, tell them to come out, tell them to join us. All right. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be so good, guys. We're going to get started in a few. Join us, join us. We're going to be playing a bit of word scramble in just a little while. But it's going to be fun today, guys. I hope that all of you are just having an awesome time today. I hope you're having a blessed day. I know that we are. So make sure that you join us. Join us, join us, join us. We're going to have this chat on repeat today, guys, okay? It's going to be on repeat. This is going to be a funky session, okay? So we're going to have a good time, guys. We're talking about all things pet today, okay? We're talking about the cats and the dogs, and we're talking about it all today, okay? We're talking about funny stories. We're going to play some games. We are going to be doing some crafts. We are doing it today, guys. We are doing it today. So make sure that you stick around, and make sure that you join us. It's going to be such an awesome time. Dance with us, vibe with us. Hey. Yes. All right, guys. So I want to welcome today with us my beautiful cousin, but also Dr. Octavia Darwin.
Hello, hello. Hi.
Yes. Dr. Darwin is a veterinarian, and she's going to just, tell us today kind of like what her specialties are. Is the music too loud? Is okay? Do I need to turn it down a bit?
You can turn it down a little bit.
Yeah, all right. Let me turn it down a little bit and you tell me. That's better?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So, Dr. Darwin, tell us a little bit about yourself and what your specialties are.
Okay. So I am Dr. Octavia Darwin. I really just see dogs and cats. So I am your typical small animal practitioner. Basically what I am is like your general practitioner that you go see when you go to the doctor. So I'm that, but for your dogs and cats. A lot of people don't realize this, but veterinarians, when we graduate vet school, we can technically practice on any species. Because of, different interests and, how much experiences we've had in various areas, we'll probably want to focus more on, one or two species or whatever it may be. But at least for me, dogs and cats are where it's at. So I have been practicing since 2018. Absolutely love being, a small animal veterinarian. It's great. I love my patients. I love the clients. So it was just a great match for me.
Oh, awesome. So Yeah, we're going to be talking today just about you know, we're going to be talking today about, yes, the dogs and the cats, but also some pointers, giving you guys some tips.
Mhm.
If you have questions that you ask, I know a lot of dog and cat owners. So guys, post your questions, in the chat section, and let us know if you have any questions. Let us know, guys. Let us know if you have any questions. Interact today. It's just going to be great. So I'm going to be sharing. We're going to do a little bit of word scramble today. Okay. So if you guys love trivia, we're going to be doing that. So while myself and Dr. Darwin are doing our secret crafts right here, we're going to reveal to you what we are doing at the end, towards the end. So make sure that you stay on with us if you can, but also make sure to share this with someone. Make sure to uh just vibe out with us, okay, and just have some fun today, and also get a little information. If you are thinking of being a pet owner, maybe for the sake of yourself or for your kids, then hop on with us, learn some things. If you have some questions as a pet owner, join us. It's just going to be a great time, guys. So I want you to get a pen and a paper or grab something real quick, and join us, because I'm going to be sharing this word scramble with you. All right, so let's do this, guys. Let's do this. So you have 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes to um, figure out these 10 words. You have 5 minutes to figure out these 10 words, guys. You got 5 minutes. Let's see who can figure. Let's see who can figure out these words. 5 minutes. Actually, we're gonna give you 12:18. So gonna give you to 12:25. So you got 6 minutes left to figure it out, and we're gonna be crafting over here. Let's see. And at the end of the 6 minutes, you have to 12:25. At the end of the 6 minutes, you are going to go into the chat and you are going to put the words that you have found. And whatever you didn't find, we're going to tell you what it was. So you got 6 minutes to figure out these 10 words, topic, animal. At the end of the 6 minutes, you're going to post them into the chat. We got 5 minutes left. Let's do it, guys. Let's do it. Let's see how many of you could get this trivia. Ooh, somebody said they're having a hard time with 3.
I'm guessing the one that starts off with an O, because that one was tripping me up too.
Probably. I'm starting my craft right here. Let's see how fast I can finish.
Well, mine is going to take me a while. I know you're the crafting expert, but it's going to take me a while.
That's
I'll
all
probably
right.
be done at the end of the session.
That is okay. How you guys doing with the trivia? Share this with somebody. Join in with us today. You know, it's to enjoy life. It's good to educate yourself. It's good to sometimes you gotta lighten up the mood. If you guys are liking the funky music, let us know. Let us know. But if you know of someone that could benefit from this info session today, join us, guys. 3 minutes left for the word scramble. 3 minutes. I'll probably be finished with this pretty quick.
Oh, really? Do you have another craft?
Probably. I'll move slower though. Hey. Hope you guys are having a blessed day. We got 2 minutes left. 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes.
So, Renee, I meant to ask you, if they get everything right, is there a prize?
You know, that would be nice, but you know, I kept that in mind, but being that they're gonna be posting it in the chat, so that might be it might come down to whoever posts the quickest, all of them. But then
Renee said, this is not that kind of YouTube channel.
Yeah, this ain't the trivia show. Yeah. Oh, Mrs. Darwin said she got all but one.
I'm guessing it's that one
because
that starts with O-R-O, right?
Maybe, probably. 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. You got 1 minute. Now, see, I would ship a prize. However, once they start posting the chat, everybody's gonna see the answers.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true.
So you're gonna have to get a TV show for that. 1 minute, guys. Who got the most scrambled words? Let's see. We got 1 minute. 1 minute, and then I'm gonna tell you guys when to post in the chat. All right. It's 12:25. Time up. Hands down. Let's see. So start posting it in the chat. Start posting in the chat. I want to see who got the word with the O that begins with the O in the middle. Who got that word? Did anybody get that word? I don't see the answers, so I don't think anybody got that one. Did anybody get that word with the that starts with the O? I don't think anybody got that one yet. All right, guys. Well, let's see what you got. Oh, Natasha said orangutan. No.
Hi, Natasha.
Oh, somebody. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, snap. Andrew.
Someone got it?
Andrew.
My husband.
Is that, yes, that's your husband.
Yeah, that's my husband.
Andrew. So okay, we gotta give. I guess I gotta send Andrew a prize because Andrew literally. I think he was waiting. I think Andrew was like, no one is going before me. Hello, Natasha. And Millie says hi too. Well, you can see. I think
Oh, hi,
you can see the
Millie.
chat. Okay,
Sweet
yes. So
Millie.
dog, elephant, zebra, hyena. Uh-huh. So Andrew did that word in the middle with the O. I had that, but didn't think that was right. Rhinoceros. The word with the O is rhinoceros.
Mhm.
I think Andrew is king of word scramble. I think so. Secretly, I don't know. You know better than me. Is he king of scramble?
He's not king of scramble, but he's just, I don't know. His brain works on a
He's.
different wavelength. Like he's a
Oh
software
my
engineer. So
gosh.
he just like
Oh,
computes
okay.
everything and then
Okay.
somehow makes ones and zeros into pictures and everything else. So
Oh my gosh. No, listen. That is awesome. Here it is, guys. Here it is. Here are the words. Yes. Mrs. Heather Darwin. Yes. Dog, cat, elephant, zebra, question mark. Hyena. Yes. Vibes, one expressions is my mother. That's my mom, Karen. Cat, dog, bear, donkey, sheep. Yes, you got some of them. You got some of them, yes. But Andrew got all 10 here. Rhinoceros, yes. See, if I didn't make this, I definitely would not
that
figure
one
out
tripped
what
me
that
up
was.
too.
I have to put a hard one in here. I gotta put a really hard one in here. So Andrew, yes, Andrew, yes, Andrew. So guys, that was awesome though. That was awesome, guys.
Mhm.
That was awesome. That was awesome. I'm communicating with everybody as well in the chat. But that was great, guys. That was fun. That was fun. That was fun.
Yes.
So so let's move forward though. Let's move forward and let's talk a little bit about she said she stopped when Andrew chimed in. What? I guess a little intimidation sometimes it sneaks in. It sneaks in sometimes. But it's okay. That's all right. But guys, we're going to talk about something. So first, we want to talk about healthy habits, right?
Mhm.
For those of you that do have dogs and cats, what are what are some healthy habits that you can share with those watching?
Yeah. So just like with people,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of those same things when you talk about health apply to dogs and cats too. So we're
Right.
talking about diet, we're talking about exercise, we're talking about, things in your environment to help reduce stress. Because of
Right.
course, even if you eat the right things and you're still getting some exercise, if you're extremely stressed, I mean, as a human being, that can predispose you to
Right.
other issues too.
Mm-hmm.
So ultimately, when it comes down to exercise, of course, we do recommend all pets get some kind of form of exercise. I do know that the American Veterinary Medical Association generally says that 15 to 30 minutes of a brisk walk with most dogs is actually a good place to start, just once a
Okay.
day. But I will say, for some larger dogs, they might require more. If
Right.
you have one of those really energetic breeds, like let's just say you
Right.
have an Australian Shepherd or a Border Collie, one of those
Right.
breeds that was bred specifically to do a lot of running around and being super active all day and all
Right.
night. Those dogs have a different
Like
level of, needing exercise and mental stimulation and so forth. And so
right. Like a
I would
Doberman,
say,
right?
huh?
Similar to like Dobermans and those type of dogs. Like I used to have a Doberman. They
Yeah, if
have a
you
lot
have
of
a bigger
energy,
dog, they're gonna
right?
need
Yeah.
a little more exercise. And that's where like I said, that's where it's recommended to start. But of course, not everybody's able to do that. So I would just say, even if you're exercising them at home, it could be playing ball in the house, running back and forth with my
Right.
dog, playing chase around the house,
Right.
just some kind of form of exercise. Now, the thing about that, of course, with your dog, you're going to have to be usually, unless you're throwing a ball to them, involved with
Mm-hmm.
their physical exercise.
Right.
Cats, we also recommend them having exercise too. And so there you can be a little bit more lazy. You could get a
Yeah.
laser pointer for them.
Right.
Um, Cats like the laser pointer. It is the
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
that
I can
forever
tell.
escapes their grasp. And so they're
Right.
just fascinated with it. Also toys that, will actually move and swivel around. They have lots of different options out there. In
Right.
terms of diet, the biggest thing that, I'll generally recommend is just making sure that whatever food that you're feeding them is a balanced diet. So ideally something that has
Mm-hmm.
been formulated by a veterinary nutritionist, not just an animal nutritionist, but a veterinary nutritionist. So that is a veterinarian who has specialized
Right.
in nutrition for small animals.
Right.
So generally, if you see that AFCO statement in the back, what that looks like is, usually on our food, we have like the fat content, protein content, all of that listed out.
Right.
Most of those diets are going to be, well formulated for the most part.
Right.
One thing I will say is, a lot of people want to make their dogs food,
Mm-hmm.
which I have no problem with. Honestly, like if I could, every single dog and cat would be on something homemade. But the thing about it is,
Oh.
if you're going to do a homemade diet, it's very hard to make a homemade diet that is not lacking some kind of mineral or ingredient that is needed for their health. So if you do
Right.
decide to do a homemade diet, one, make sure that that diet is well balanced, meaning make sure you consult with a veterinary nutritionist
Mm-hmm.
about it so that your dog isn't having, long-term deficiencies of various kinds. Um, I would
Okay.
say that that's kind of the baseline with, eating and exercise. Of course, there's certain things that are needed, just to kind of
Mm-hmm.
help prevent disease.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of my job is at work is practicing preventative medicine. So just trying to make
Okay.
sure that your pets are not getting things that they, would otherwise be exposed to and infected with. So
Right.
making sure they're up to date on vaccines, making sure that, each month that they're staying on prevention to prevent them from getting worms and parasites and everything else. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I would say that that's the key in terms of healthy habits, trying to
Mm-hmm.
prevent the things that you can,
Right.
diet,
Right.
exercise. Of course, there's grooming that goes into it too, especially for
I
your
was just about to
fancy,
mention that.
yep,
Yes. And
especially for
taking
your
care of your
fancy
teeth and
doodles like little
mm-hmm.
Millie.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say that the doodle mixes are becoming more and more popular. You
Yeah.
will see them everywhere. Everything has been
Yes.
getting mixed with a poodle, which I
Mm-hmm.
don't have major complaints with it. It's less shedding. So it's,
Right.
there's that, there's
They
the
oh, I didn't know that.
intelligence, there's the
Mm-hmm.
friendliness. So, oh, you didn't know that poodles don't shed?
No, I thought they do.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they don't
So
shed. So if you want
you
a
learn
dog that's
something new
not
every
gonna
day.
shed hair in your house,
Just
get a
because they look
poodle.
like they have a lot of hair, so I figured that they must, I guess, shed a lot.
So unless you have a poodle mix that was mixed with something else, and depending on the way that the genetics work, they might shed. But typically, if you're having a poodle, like a straight
Hmm.
purebred poodle, they do not shed. And if anything, that's why they have to get groomed. You always think about poodles and their fancy haircuts. There's a reason behind that. It's because
Right,
they have to get
right.
groomed because
Okay, okay.
they don't shed the hair, and if you don't groom it, it's not falling out. It's just gonna stay there.
Right, right, right. Okay, okay. And what about, can you give some tips on like taking care of their teeth? Because that's a big thing. That aside from all the other things with pets, especially from me being a previous pet owner, um,
Mhm.
I've had turtles, we've had turtles, dog, rabbit, you know. So, but with especially with dogs, that could run, it could run you a lot of money. It can be very costly
Mhm.
if you don't take good care of their teeth, amongst other
Yeah.
things. But that seems to be one thing, just like your own, that seems to be one thing that people don't focus on too much, or
Yeah.
a lot of people tend to stick with, they have those like doggy treats or biscuits that have the, they say they clean the dog's teeth or whatever the case
Mhm.
is. They kind of leave it up to that, but you actually have to, either you do it yourself, or you take them to get groomed. But maybe, can you give some tips to help people out with maybe their dogs or the cat's teeth, the best way. Maybe the dog is giving them a hard time to clean their teeth or something, but maybe some tips on
Mm,
that, how
yeah.
to effectively clean their teeth. And maybe, I guess, if they're having too much trouble where they're afraid they're going to get bitten, maybe you should go to somebody. But what's some good
Yeah.
tips?
So I will say this much: that is a chronic struggle that owners have, is
Right.
maintaining dental health, and it's just because some of the dogs, and I will say often it is the small dogs, do not allow their owners to brush their teeth. In an ideal
Mhm.
world, what would be happening is that you would actually brush their teeth, believe it or
Mhm.
not, every day. They do make canine toothbrushes. They do make canine, you know,
Mhm.
toothpaste as well. The key thing that you just want to keep in mind is when looking at which products to use, ideally getting something that is then approved by the Veterinary Oral Health Council. They actually have their own
Okay.
website. They have a very long list of approved products for dogs and cats, and so that would be a good starting place, is to look for some approved products, but really, brushing their teeth each day. Now, I will say this much:
Mhm.
getting a dog used to that. I will say I have some patients that they just will not allow their owner to do it, and we've tried various things. We tried taking the toothbrush and putting some peanut butter on it and letting them lick it, and all different
No.
kinds of things. And some dogs just won't let you. That's just the thing of it. And you get to a point
True.
that you don't want to ruin that person's relationship with their dog and make their
Right.
everyday life with their dog awful.
Right.
So in those cases, we talk about doing some of those other products, that they can chew on, water additives and so forth. I will say anything that has more of a scrubbing action is definitely going to work a
Mhm.
lot better than the water additives. But
Okay.
ultimately, I would say, if you can, brush their teeth, and if you can't, go on the veterinaryoralhealthcouncil.org, see some of those approved
Right.
products. For example, greenies are a common one that everyone knows about. They're like the little
Mhm.
green bone-shaped chews, and you give it to your dog to chew on.
Right.
And I will say, I have seen those things work, fairly well, for most
Mhm.
dogs. Now, keep in
Right.
mind with something that's a chewing product,
Uh-huh.
it's going to work on those chewing teeth. So those back, molars and premolars are going to get taken care of. But these
Mhm.
teeth up here, so the incisors and the canines, it's not really going to do that much for it. So they'll probably still need to, get a dental cleaning and so forth. The hope is that,
Right.
though, most of the teeth for chewing are going to be preserved,
Right.
in the future.
Okay. We
Mhm.
have some questions. We do have some questions. Let's see. So Stephanie Magwood, Stephanie said, can you give them a ham bone?
So the biggest thing with bones in the veterinary community, we generally don't recommend the bones because I have had dogs come in with shards of bone stuck in their gums, stuck in various parts of their
Mm,
mouth because it's just very hard. I've seen dogs have
right.
fractured teeth because the bone is very
Hmm.
hard and they were chewing on it. So in a general sense, yeah, I wouldn't recommend giving them bones. I would try to give them stuff that they can actually break apart and it not turn into
Right.
sharp pieces.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Hmm.
Okay, and
And
then
they
we have
make some
another.
products out there that are like pretty hard, but they can get dissolved.
Okay. Mrs. Jones says, like people, I've always wondered if long-haired dogs get heat rash in the summer and how to treat it. Good question.
So, so yeah, some dogs that have more hair on them, I will say, in the heat and them getting dirt all over their fur, it can get kind of nasty, and sometimes they will get little skin infections just because the amount of bacteria and stuff on their skin.
Right,
What I
right.
would do is in the summer, and this will also your dog will be thankful for this too. Try to cut their hair short if they're a dog that is amenable to it.
Right,
Just to keep them cool and also, so that you can keep them clean and not getting a bunch of stuff on them.
right. Absolutely. And then before we go to our next point, Natasha asked, are carrots good for cleaning teeth on dogs?
Carrots are wonderful. You can definitely give them carrots. It's more that scrubbing action against the teeth. It'll definitely help.
Hmm.
Would I count on that as the main thing to keep the teeth clean? No, but it'll be helpful.
Okay, all right, all right. Awesome, awesome. So, I mean, those are definitely some good tips. And what about cleaning for cats? What about teeth cleaning for cats? What's the big difference between cleaning dog's teeth and cats? Like
Yeah.
their hygienic
So
health, what's different?
I will say cats are a lot harder. Their mouths are
Hmm.
just so much smaller than dogs. Dogs, you can try to shove
Right,
a toothbrush in there. Cats,
right.
most of them, and if you've ever had a cat, you would know they are very opinionated. They don't always tolerate everything. And
Very
so if you're
true. They're
really
bougie.
trying to,
Cats are bougie.
exactly, like a dog will be in your face. There was a comedian one time
Yes,
who was talking about it. He was like, I can't have a dog. They're just too needy. They always want to be in your face. A cat, he'll come home, he'll like give me the nod, say, "Hey, what's up,
some of them.
bro?" And then go back
Uh,
to what he
right,
to what he's doing.
right.
Cats are they're just kind of different creatures. So the brushing the teeth would be ideal for them too, but you can't get everything in there. So once again, I would go to the veterinaryoralhealthcouncil.org and see some of the approved products for them on there.
You said the veterinaryhealthcouncil.org.
Veterinary Oral Health
Oh,
Council.org. Yeah.
veterinary oral health council. Okay. All
Yes.
right, all right. So what about for new pet owners? What about those who are thinking, who might not own a pet yet, but they're thinking maybe of either getting a dog or cat for their children, or
Mhm.
they're just thinking about it for themselves? Since your specialty is with dogs and cats, what would you
Yeah.
say? Um, well, my mom asked a question before I get to that. I want to answer her question because I'm sure that you're gonna answer it too. But spicy foods, like jerk chicken, harm dogs.
We actually had this conversation not too long ago.
Now, this is for all
Um,
the Caribbean-bound families, all the families from the Caribbean
yes.
that are from the islands that think that fried plantain and all this stuff is. Now, occasionally I am guilty, occasionally, rarely, of giving my dog I gave her a piece of fried plantain or something like
Okay.
that. Or maybe we gave her a piece of chicken, but probably not with so much like sauce or whatever, probably the inside. But yeah, can you answer this for those from the Caribbean?
So the biggest thing that we'll see with spicy food is that it can cause stomach upset. So like vomiting, diarrhea, those kinds of things. But in a general sense, it's not the best to feed your dog table scraps, not unless it's like just limited ingredient. Like if you want to give them carrots, great, sure, that's actually really good for them. Things like broccoli, that's good, But
Right.
when you start getting into stuff that has a bunch of seasoning on it, especially because, you're not really supposed to be giving dogs onions and garlic anyway. So stuff that has a
Okay,
bunch of
you hear that,
spices on it,
guys? No onion, no onion, no garlic.
especially in cats, no onions. So trying to give them those kinds of things, is not ideal. One, because often it can cause stomach upset. But two, because, a lot of that stuff is like really greasy or has a decent amount of oil, and those kinds of things, lots of fats, lots of grease. One is going to contribute to the already problem that we have with obesity in dogs and cats.
Mm,
A
right.
lot of people don't know this, but like the last reported statistic that I read was that, and this was from
Mm-hmm.
the American Veterinary Medical Association, that
Mm-hmm.
somewhere over 50% of dogs and cats in America are obese. Isn't that crazy?
Mm,
And that's because they're
yeah.
getting, a little table scrap here, little table scrap there. I had one client who used to get his dog McDonald's biscuits every single morning.
Wow.
And his dog ended up getting pancreatitis. It's a condition where the pancreas, which is responsible for releasing digestive enzymes, gets extremely inflamed, and there's a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
other issues that come along with it. But he was like, well, I don't see how he could have that because he's been having the McDonald's biscuits for years. And I was like, yes, this has been an impending doom. Like, this is not, this is not
Oh my
something,
gosh.
that just developed. It's been, his pancreas has been inflamed and angry for a very long time. And so now that's
Right.
why he has, the severe case of it. So ideally staying away from a bunch of oily, greasy,
Mm-hmm.
anything that has like a bunch of spices on it, just because you can't guarantee it doesn't have something that is
Same
toxic
thing
for
that
them.
would technically not good for us in a
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. So, with my Jamaican background, of course, I like my jerk chicken.
Yep, yep, yep. Because what the funny thing I used to say is, like, if you're Jamaican family, or Trinidadian family, Guyanese, or whatever, your animal, okay, if you're from Canada, your animal is what you are. So the dog or cat is Jamaican, they're Canadian, they're
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, they're Russian, they're wherever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's where the dog is from. So they're eating your nationalities.
Yes, it is true.
And
I
they
had a
even they
client
even
recently.
mm-hmm. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say I had a client recently who adopted their dog from a Japanese family, and the dog
Mm-hmm.
didn't understand any English words. It only knew commands in Japanese. So
Mm-hmm.
it really is true. Like if they grow up with a certain family, like they learn the commands in whatever language that is, and so forth.
Right. Oh my gosh. Well, moving on to the next tip. So going back to new pet owners, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, what would you say to those who are thinking of getting a dog or a cat? Um, I know usually people choose based on what they like, or what's
Yeah.
best for them. But what would you say to those who are becoming, or maybe just became, new pet owners, or are thinking of getting a pet, right? Either for themselves or for their family.
Yeah. I would
Things to
say
consider.
one I would say a common misconception, at least for people who have never had pets before, is that
Mm-hmm.
their pet comes pre-trained. They
Mm,
expect that the pet is going to know to do, is going to know not to pee in the house, or is going to know not to poop in the house, or is going to know
right.
that they're not supposed to shred up something, or they're supposed to know
Mm-hmm.
various things.
Mm-hmm.
Always think of having a new pet as, and sometimes you get lucky and the pet is fully trained. I'm not saying that
Right.
doesn't happen, but just think about bringing basically a baby into your world, and you have
Mm-hmm.
to show them, okay, this is what's good, this is what we're not supposed to do.
Right.
Give them time to kind of adjust. The other thing I
Mm-hmm.
would just recommend is making sure that you do research about, if it is a specific breed that you're going to get, making sure you do as much research as possible and think
Mm-hmm.
about your lifestyle and how that would fit with that pet. If you
Right.
are someone who doesn't like to go out,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't like to exercise, and you're someone who is very much likes to sit on the couch, those kinds of things, do not get
Mm,
a border collie, do not get an Australian shepherd, because those
mm.
dogs need a lot of mental stimulation. They need a lot of, physical activity. Same thing with the husky.
Right.
they that's also a breed that I see a lot of people want. They want a husky. This
Mm-hmm.
person wants a husky. Huskies need a lot of, mental stimulation. They're very smart dogs. And if you don't provide that for them, they will be a terror. They're great,
You know
wonderful
what?
dogs, but they will be a terror
Speaking
if you don't
speaking
do
of
that.
huskies, speaking of huskies, a lot of people love them and they're beautiful dogs, but are they
Mm-hmm.
meant to be in cities like New York? Are they meant to be in you know how New York is, for example, and I see a lot of people in New York with them, or in the city areas where the seasons are
Yeah.
always changing, right? Sometimes it gets very hot, sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
and they seem more like Alaskan dogs or winter, you know what I mean? So
Yes.
what would you say to people maybe who do have a husky? And are those types of dogs with all that fur, or that maybe are more meant for cold weather, is it healthy for them to be here, in the city? And if so, how do you keep them where they don't get, like, overheated, or um yeah.
Yeah. So I will preface it with this. There's a decent amount of huskies here in Tennessee,
Hmm.
which it gets so hot in the
Very
summer
hot.
here, and people have
Right.
huskies. My big thing is if you do have something like a husky or a dog that is long haired, just keep in mind that you need to make sure that you're not overexerting them in the summer, that you're always making sure they have fresh water, they have a cool place to be, not keeping
Right.
them outside for too long because they're going to be very predisposed to, having heat stroke because
Oh,
they have like a double
yeah,
coat and
absolutely.
then it's gonna overheat them.
Hmm.
If you have a husky in New York City, they probably don't have as much room, just in terms of what they were bred to be around, because these dogs are supposed to be out in freezing cold weather.
Right.
Like they were bred to like pull whole people.
Egg.
But here's the thing:
Yeah.
the key is if you are getting that exercise out. So if you
Hmm.
live in New York City and you do a bunch of running and everything else with them every single day and you're designating, a lot of time to that each day, I actually
Hmm.
think it would be fine. But
Hmm.
like I said, you really have to hone in on the fact that you're going to have to find an outlet for that dog, um, for
Right.
exercise and stimulation. And their mental stimulation could be indoors, but
Hmm.
um, they need something because those
Right.
dogs,
Right.
they have that drive. They need to be involved with things. And if it's not happening,
Yes.
it's just not going to
Yes.
be good for the
Yes.
owner or the dog.
Right. Right. So,
Mhm.
right, one of the most important things, guys, that Dr. Darwin stated today was doing research on the type of
Mhm.
dog you're getting. A lot of people, um, which is just like, just human nature. You see something that looks good, right? And you
Yes.
kind of you want it, or whatever. It's the attraction to the eye first. But it's important to do research, because pets are a big part of this world and they become a big part of the family.
Mhm.
And they take they take a lot of your emotion, they like take a lot of your time, they literally become part of the family. So doing the research is very important, because you know the you have might have a dog and you get it because it's just so cute, you know what I mean, or small, or it's a big dog, or it's a pit bull, or whatever, and it's a beautiful dog. But then knowing how to care for that specific breed of dog, like she said, is very
Mhm.
important, because you can't give all of them the same thing to eat, you know what I mean? Like the same thing a chihuahua might eat is not the same thing a pit bull might eat, or whatever. So
Right.
it's very important to do your research if you are becoming, and if you already do have a pet, it's not too late to switch it up, with the food. There is someone I was speaking to uh before I asked this question. There's someone I was speaking to who said that her dog does not like dry food. So I suggested something which you can probably maybe chime in on, which was mixing possibly like soft dog food with hard dog food, like
Yeah.
something that's kind of wet with the hard and they might eat it,
Mhm.
or maybe mixing a little bit of our food, like for example, like mixed vegetables, just like kind of like frozen mixed vegetables, and then kind of mashing it up and mixing it with the dry food.
Yeah.
um so that would be a good recommendation for dogs who like maybe are not tending to the dry food that's bought, because of course
Mhm.
dry food is more cost effective a lot of the time. So
Yeah, yeah. And the other thing too is I do prefer for if you are going to have a dog on, wet food to also have some dry food in there just so it has at least a little bit of scrubbing action
Mm-hmm.
against their teeth. Most
Okay,
dogs
right.
do prefer, wet food. It's like
Yeah.
it's like the good stuff to them.
Right. Okay, okay.
But,
Yeah.
like I said, at least having a little bit of dry stuff to scrub against those teeth a little bit.
Okay, cool, cool.
Mhm.
And then Karen asked, which is my mom, Vibes One Expressions, what is best for fleas in bathing? That's a
So for
common thing that's
fleas,
found a lot.
yeah, yeah. So for fleas, that's going back into our preventative medicine. So generally, we recommend keeping your dogs and cats on something, either a chewable or a topical that you apply onto them. There's so many products out there. So generally,
Mm-hmm.
we say once a month because most products are a once a month that they get. But if, for example, you're doing something like Revecto chewable, that one lasts for like 3 months at a time. But
Mm-hmm.
I would keep them on some kind of monthly prevention for that. If you do have a dog that has, or a cat that has, really bad fleas, typically
Mm-hmm.
I'll say, okay, whatever flea treatment that we're doing, which ideally is the good
Mm-hmm.
stuff, which is the once a month stuff. Ideally doing that for at a minimum,
Mm-hmm.
60 days, just to try to break the flea life cycle. So don't think you
Mm-hmm.
can just treat, if you have a flea infestation in your house, don't think you can treat the pet for 1 month and it go away. You need to treat for
Mm.
multiple months.
Okay.
And then, yeah, yeah. So just keep that in mind.
Nice. Nice tips. We have some pointers here. We have another so before we move to the next tip, we'll take these two and move forward. This was about the kind of like back to the food, a rice cooked ground chicken with peas and carrots. Is that okay to mix in?
So yeah, you can do that. The rice, fine. Peas and carrots, fine. The cooked ground chicken is fine as long as it is minimal fat and you're not adding in any grease and oil.
So like lean meat or something like that, right?
Yeah, so lean meat is fine. Hmm.
Okay. And then Mrs. Jones, she said they have a new baby coming to the family and
Oh,
have
I know
two
who
big
this is.
dogs already. So how can the owner of these dogs prepare them? How can the owners prepare them so that they're not so aggressive? Not to be aggressive when the baby comes. That's important. A lot of
So,
people take a lot of risks with trusting their dogs
mhm,
um to be very close to the infant, which I personally feel is not a good idea because you never know. Um, I don't think you should trust animals so much to think that they would never snap, right? Like anything could happen. So,
mhm.
even if your dog isn't a naturally aggressive dog, though, maybe they are one who could potentially be. Maybe it's a big dog. So I think that's a good question. How do you prepare them so they're not so aggressive
Aggressive.
yeah.
Um, I would say that one big thing is, first of all, one tip is to just kind of get the dogs used to the sound of a baby crying in the house. So you might take recordings of a baby crying and just play it intermittently before the baby actually comes so that they just get kind
Mm,
of used to that. But in terms of, a dog being aggressive towards the new baby, you have to remember that this
right.
new baby is going to be seen as a member of the family. So I will say there have even been homes where the dog is aggressive towards, let's just say, other dogs, but won't be aggressive towards members of the family. So when the new baby comes
Hmm.
in and it's established as a member of the family, the dog does
Right.
not act aggressive towards that baby. It's just towards dogs. And aggression is kind of complicated because typically it's rooted in fear and anxiety. It can
Hmm.
be, something that they do that is very situational.
Hmm.
So I would just say try to do a very cautious introduction, make as many positive
Right.
associations as possible. I wouldn't just
Hmm.
automatically just throw the baby on the floor with the dog. I would
Right,
just have the
exactly.
dog in the same room, but in kind of controlled, whether it be on a leash or, through a
Hmm.
baby gate, and allow that dog to have positive experiences while that baby is around. So what that may
Right.
look like is maybe you're on the other side of the baby gate, dog is right there. You let dog be fed and you nurse baby near, in the area that the dog can see. So that every time he's making that association, oh, new baby,
Mm-hmm.
positive thing, food, pets, whatever it is that your dog likes.
Okay, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome, awesome, awesome questions. And engagement. It's going great. It's going great. The next thing I wanted you to touch on a little bit is the importance of your veterinarian. Um, I know it's hard for many people, especially now, but even before now, it's hard for a lot of people. Uh, so yes, I was just looking at a comment. So I want you to give us some tips on some pointers or some advice, on and information on the importance of your veterinarian. Seeing your veterinarian. How often should you see your veterinarian? Is it like, us who we have like a yearly, our
Mm-hmm.
annual eye
Yeah.
doctor, medical, GYN, all that stuff? Is it your
Mm-hmm.
annual for animals? How does that work?
Yeah. Yeah, so really it is a once a year thing. I know with dogs, people are pretty good about bringing their dogs in once a year, and typically it's so that they can stay updated on their vaccines. The core vaccines, which is rabies, and distemper parvo. Those are, deadly diseases if they end up getting them, the things that they're covering. But also,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people want to board their pets or various things like that, or want to bring them to the dog park. So it's good for them to be up to date on vaccines. And those, for the most part, there are some that, can go out a little bit longer than 1 year. Some of them are
Mm-hmm.
3 years. But just to get a general checkup once a year is a good idea, because sometimes we catch things that are
Mm-hmm.
not, visible from the surface. So, for
Right.
example, you might hear a heart murmur and you wouldn't know if your dog had early heart disease at home, because most of them
Mm-hmm.
in the early stages don't show any, external symptoms. So,
Mm-hmm.
knowing things like that, or knowing, how their teeth look, if it looks like it's time for them to have a dental cleaning, um,
Mm-hmm.
various things. And I will say that oftentimes, when people come in for their yearly, they end up, bringing up something that has been going on for the whole past year. And then, it's something
Right.
that was a problem and they didn't realize was a problem. And we
Mm-hmm.
get to make that dog or cat a lot more comfortable with that. So,
Right.
uh, yeah, just once a year is my recommendation, just so we can make sure everything's all right.
Absolutely. No, that's, yeah, that's very important. And I figured it was the same for us, probably, a yearly or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of it is at home, the same way we try to keep up with ourselves. You keep up with your pet because you invest, and they
Mm-hmm.
literally become a part of the family. Um Stephanie asked, would you recommend pet insurance for older dogs?
I think that pet insurance is a good idea. The key thing is just to make sure you read the fine print. That's all.
Mm, mm-hmm.
Because sometimes people will think that things will be covered by their pet insurance, and it's not.
Mm-hmm.
For
Right.
example, a lot of pet insurance companies will put claims about, oh, we're not going to cover things that were pre-existing conditions.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say, for example, there was one patient I had that ended up having um, split, like a cancer on its spleen, that required
Mm-hmm.
a very aggressive surgery that was going to have a lot of aftercare. Like, we're talking about a few $1,000s. um,
Right.
this dog had some kind of skin lesion, by the way, completely unrelated to the spleen. Insurance company was making a claim about, oh, because it had a bump before, that could have been cancer, and we don't know for sure if it was cancer, so we're not going to cover the thing with the spleen. And I'm like, this
Right.
is not even a related bump, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, just make sure you read the fine print. And honestly, I think that probably the best time to get pet insurance is when your dog doesn't have a bunch of pre-existing conditions, because then they can't, claim that.
Like when you just get them pretty much or whatever, like when you're just buying
That
them.
is the best time, especially like when they're a puppy. because they don't have
Right.
any previous illnesses that we know about.
Right.
And puppies are a lot more likely to get into stuff or to run off
Mm-hmm.
and get hit by a car, various things,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right. That's a awesome point. But we want to share some funny stories with you. You want to go first, or you want me to share mine first?
you can share yours first.
So, so I was telling my cousin here that we were talking about remedies, and I was asking her before when we were planning this session um about like home remedies, or just giving her examples of some things that we do, especially families from a Caribbean background. Once again, just like how we try to heal ourselves with home remedies and bush teas and all all kinds of stuff, or those who are from different nationalities, wherever you come from, because you're trying to save money. Sometimes you go towards things that you have in your own house, right? So we had a mini Doberman pinscher. Um, her name was Shelly, right? So she broke out with something, and my mom can attest to this, but she broke out with like a rash on her ear or something like that. And I guess I don't remember if we were looking up things to use, or maybe inquired about how much it would cost or something or whatever. But we had shea butter at at home. That's what we had. We had shea butter, and we were trying to figure out like what to use that could possibly heal it or whatever. So we figured, well, shea butter heals the skin, it heals our skin. So maybe we could try it on the dog. So my mom, she rubbed the shea butter all over her ear, right? And we kind of like wrapped her in a little sheet, when she would sleep and whatever. And because she used to like itch it a lot and different stuff. And to make a long story short, it healed by using the shea butter, rubbing that shea butter on there like every day on that spot, because she was actually starting to bald on that area because she was scratching and stuff. And it healed and it came back fully. We didn't take her anywhere. It happened to work. The shea butter happened to work for the dog. I'm not saying all cases, but that's a funny story I wanted to share. A funny home remedy story I wanted to share. So I mean, by doctor's orders, I don't know if that's medically correct, but it worked
I mean, the shea butter is not going to hurt the
and
dog.
it
It might
saved
not
money.
fix it, but in that case, I'm
Right.
glad that it did.
It did. Yes, yes. But yeah, share what you were telling me earlier, which was really funny.
Oh, sometimes people tell you just wild things.
Mm-hmm.
For
Indeed.
example, I had one client who she had asked me a question and she said, so she was like, I probably shouldn't be doing this. And I don't know if it's okay or not, but my dog came over one day and I was sitting by the pool and I had my margarita and he just came over and jumped up on the table and started drinking some of it. And I said, oh, I was like, well, no, he shouldn't be doing that. Alcohol is not good for
Oh,
his liver. Just like it wouldn't
he was
be,
probably stressed.
had to take a drink because he was stressed out because his mom is by
Probably.
the pool drinking margaritas while he's doing who knows what. But
Oh my gosh.
he ended up drinking some of that. And I was like, well, okay. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is a one-time thing. And then she says, and now every single morning when I make margaritas, he comes running, he gets excited, he does spins, and I give him just a
An
little bit because
alcoholic
he loves it
dog.
so much. And I was just like,
Oh no.
and here's the thing, I have changed a lot since I first became a veterinarian because my response
Uh-huh.
was, your dog is a little alcoholic. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I told her.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I said, that's not, I was like, he's not even of legal drinking age, not in human years or dog years. So this is just wrong on so many levels.
Right. Oh my gosh. An alcoholic dog is a no-no, guys. It's a no-no.
Yes.
No margaritas, no wine, no licking of the wine, no nothing.
Mm-mm.
It's
No,
not good.
no.
Oh my
So,
gosh, Joe. I mean, I'm sure there are so many other funny stories, and I'm sure tons of outrageous things people have done or let their animals do. But this was we were did you were you working on your craft?
I
how
stopped after a
how
while.
did
I
it go?
can
You
show you how
stopped?
far I got, but
All right, guys, we're gonna reveal what we were working on while we were talking to you. We're gonna reveal our crafts, okay? Because it's a live crafting chat session, okay? So we were doing something in the beginning. So Dr. Darwin is gonna show what she was working on before she got sidetracked.
okay, listen, I got so sidetracked. So don't laugh at how little I had done.
All right
That is
now.
literally all I got
Ooh,
done.
that's all you got. Oh my gosh. All right, well, guys, we got to give Dr. Darwin a hand clap for okay
Yeah, I
for
tried.
trying
It,
for being a great sport.
it is a cute
So
little coloring book thing though. It
it's
is
very cute.
by A. Shets. I don't know. You guys can read it though at the bottom, but
But
it is a
what
girl
did you say it
powered
was? It's
coloring book.
oh, that's
And
nice.
they have
That's a
some free like printouts that you can have online, and they have like just females in various professions. So they had a female firefighter, they had a female
right.
policeman, had a female veterinarian. So I was all about
Mhm.
it. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take one of these little pages. But yeah, that's my
No, that's
non-impressive
cute. I love
color.
it. I love it. When you got to finish it up and let us show and show us how the
Yeah, yeah.
pose
Once I
looks.
finish it, I'll show it to you.
So I was I told her I was gonna do like a charm bracelet in the beginning. So this is the this is the bracelet with the doggy bones and the it has these little charm things.
Oh,
It has a
cute.
little kind of like a little diamond paw, and then it has some doggy bones here, and then there's another little paw right there. So I just put those on real quick. It's a stretchy bracelet, so you put it on and little charm bracelet. So
Nice.
I told you I was probably gonna be finished pretty quick because I was like, Dad, what can I do like really quick? Because the coloring book thing was not working out for me. So
Well,
that
clearly
was
it
my
didn't work out for me
craft.
either. Clearly. This is the thing. Is
So
she's wearing a white coat, so I didn't even have to color that.
you didn't see, you didn't even have to color that. Oh my gosh. But that was
Uh,
no, that was it was so much fun, guys. I mean, I hope guys that you had a great time on this session today. One thing that I wanted I wanted Dr. Derwin to well before I have you share the last thing is there anything that pointers or tips or anything that you wanted to share, or say with them. And yes, Mrs. Jones, I actually this is for dogs, but I do have one for cats. I do. So I'll try to send you some uh Octavia so that you could disperse. So but yeah, is there anything that you wanted to add aside, from maybe that we might have left out or that you wanted to say?
um, I guess my only thing would be because I know that a lot of pet owners have said before, with so for example, I had this one client that had started coming to us, and we ended up testing her dog for heartworms. Dog ended up having heartworms. And the treatment
Mhm.
for heartworms, for her dog was going to be like $1,000+ And one of the
Mhm.
things that she had said to me was, I wish I would have known, or I wish someone had talked to me about the fact that my dog needed to be on monthly prevention, that my dog needed to be taking something every month to prevent them from
Mm.
getting this disease, because it would
Mhm.
have been so much cheaper to do the prevention than to be in the situation we're in now. And so I just
Mhm.
want to make sure that, when you guys are going to your vet and just after the session, that you bring back that when you bring your pets to the vet, we really are just trying to, prevent your pets from getting things that will make them very sick, and it always
Right.
is much, much cheaper to
Hmm.
prevent getting these diseases than the actual treatment afterwards, if they do get
Right.
it. So
Okay.
that's my biggest thing.
Okay. Okay. That's very
Mhm.
informative. Very informative. Thank you for that addition. The last thing that I wanted to ask was we are young women of faith, of course. We are
Mhm.
women of faith, and I wanted to ask for those who, are watching and will watch even after this. We always love to, and I always love to encourage people, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And you being on today, thank you so much, cuz.
No
Thank you
problem.
so much, Dr. Darwin, for taking the time out just to join me and to share your information and wisdom on this topic, because God cares about every part of our lives, even our
Mhm.
pets. So
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, and for you to just encourage us watching, um, there might be some who maybe are still even are interested in being a veterinarian, especially those of African American descent, those women of color, young
Mhm.
women that may be watching this, or maybe there are people who think for them it's too late, but it's not too late. Maybe there are some
Mhm.
who do want to be a veterinarian, or not a veterinarian, but something else. I want to ask you, how has your faith impacted your career?
Yeah. So I honestly will say this much from me being in college originally, an
Hmm.
undergraduate, all the way up until I started working as a veterinarian. I do feel like God's hand was on my life. I
Hmm.
felt like He coordinated various things. I mean, when I look at my life and I think about where I started
Hmm.
and the resources that I had available
Right.
and the people that I had around me for opportunities, because I will say I grew up in East New York. If you guys don't know too much about East New York in New York
Hmm.
City, literally there is a documentary about the precinct that was around the corner from my house. Like, that's how that
Right.
neighborhood was. And
Right.
for me to come from that and from those beginnings, and for God to have kept me safe, I'm sorry,
Yes.
but for Him to
Oh,
have kept me safe
yes.
and to have given me opportunities, it's definitely something that God organized and He coordinated. So um, I will just say that I've seen His hand on my life throughout the process and just bringing me to where I am now. Um,
Right.
I'm just very thankful, and I still see His hand all the time, and just like think like different cases that I've even prayed over, situations where I'm like, man, I don't know if this pet's gonna live. And I pray about it, and I'll ask my mom and my dad, I'll be like, I know you might find this silly, but I really am gonna ask that you pray over this patient of mine. Um, and the pet comes through, like things that would not make sense. I've
Yes.
seen God take care of my patients too. And there are cases
Beautiful.
that, that don't make it there, but I still know that God is still good and sovereign in spite of. So
Yes.
I guess that's my whole thing. So
That
I'm
no,
just very
that
thankful.
was
I'm very
that was
thankful for
awesome. Holding back the water in my eyes. But no, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. And thank you so much for sharing that, because God truly cares about every part,
Mhm.
of our lives, and you know what what concerns us and what's a part of us. So definitely, thank you so 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 much.
Thank you for having
Um,
me.
yes, absolutely. You guys make sure to just to like, follow, subscribe, share. There are other awesome
Mhm.
videos on this channel, tutorials, you name it. And we're going to be doing more sessions, and at another point in time, in another capacity, hopefully you can join me again, and we can do another session, in a different aspect, but it was just so much fun, I enjoyed it, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it today. You could just vibe out with us as we, exit. And we just thank God for life. We thank God for just being able to breathe today.
Yes.
And yes, and we hope that you who are watching, that you remain well, and that you just kind of take a little time for yourself every day, just to think about, just like the goodness of God. You're alive. You're alive. You might not
Yes.
have everything that you want
Mhm.
right now, and I'm not going to preach, but you might not have
You
everything
preach. That's okay. This is your channel. If you want to preach, go ahead and preach.
listen, you might not have everything that you want right now or be who you want to be right now, but just like Dr. Darwin said, when she looks back, right, at what she came out of in her situation and what she possibly could have been, or the person she possibly could have been, right, God has definitely had a hand in it. So I just want you who's watching to just, whether, I don't know if you're a believer or not, but I pray that if you aren't a believer, I pray that something that we said causes you to think a little bit and just give God some thanks. It's been some hard times. There are a lot of people who have experienced loss, who are going through difficulty, but still, even in the midst of all the chaos that's happening now, there's still room to enjoy life. Don't forget to enjoy life. And don't forget to use what you have to just bless others, whether it's your career, whether it's your gifts or your talents or whatever. Use them in whatever capacity that you can, and just be encouraged. So it was awesome. It was fun, guys, and we are gonna jam out. Dance with us, guys. Dance with us now. Don't leave us hanging. Make sure that you guys share this. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. Go Dr. Darwin, go Dr. Darwin, go Dr. Darwin. I wish the dog could be on camera to dance with you.
I know, right?
Maybe you can. Can you get your dog? Can you get your dog? What's your dog? Can you get your dog to join?
I
Tell
had
tell
to put
tell
her away
Andrew.
because she was trying to bark and
Tell Andrew to bring her out so she could she could dance with us.
hold on.
Come on, guys, while Dr. Darwin gets her. Her dog. Let's go. Let's go. Let's dance. Let's dance. Let's dance. Vibe with us. Vibe with us. Even if you're not feeling your best today, guys, sometimes you just gotta push yourself. You gotta push yourself. You gotta push yourself out of it and just thank God for the moment. Thank God for your family, for those that you have around you. Thank God for your dog, for your cat, right? Vibe with us. Yes.
Yes, he is.
Aw. So cute. Yes, guys, vibe with us. Vibe with us. I'm just gonna take another minute to yes.
She is like so unenthused right now.
She's like, what are you doing? You know I don't like to be on live. What are you doing? Oh gosh, that was awesome. That was awesome. So listen. Yes, Mr. Jones, go Dr. Darwin. So listen, if you missed any of this, please rewatch. And we are, we are keeping you in our prayers that everybody just stay healthy, stay safe out there. Stay safe, guys. It's a crazy world, but God still wants us to have fun. He still wants us to laugh. He still wants to, it's still good. There are still good people. There is still good in this life that we live. All is not lost. Okay? Have a blessed day, guys.
See ya.
All right.